Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Between Realities, the Between Realities VR podcast.
That is correct.
I'm trying to switch it. Like, I want to say welcome back to the Between Realities podcast.
Sure, but
podcast.
saying welcome back to Between Realities isn't wrong either, because you're still coming to the Between Realities channel.
That's true.
For
but
this podcast, yes.
I'm trying to create a separation.
You're doing great.
You know, I'm trying anyway. So welcome back to our show on the Between Realities channel. It's called the VR pod. Fucking A. Welcome.
Take two.
My name is Alex. I'm one of the co-hosts of this shit show, and I am joined here alongside of my wonderful friend Skiva. Skiva, how you doing, man?
I'm good, dude. I'm good. It's Friday. It's Between Realities Friday. Only a half day of work for me because of the show, which is super awesome. I love it. And yeah, I'm stoked to get it on.
I am too, dude. You know, it's going to be a great day. Thank you guys all so much for joining us here on this lovely Friday afternoon here in the States, and maybe in the middle of the night if you're joining us from somewhere else. I think we'll get to that a little bit here in a second. Hello to everyone in chat. Thank you for joining us. We have German Rifter was the first in chat today, although he ain't here now.
Yeah, it's late for him.
It is.
He said he was going to have to hit the hay.
We knew this would happen.
Yeah,
we did.
Casualties of time zones.
Yeah. So that being said, if you're in the United States, you better be taking advantage of this new time slot, all right? Because we had to kick German Rifter out of the show.
Yeah.
To
he's our homie.
For you.
He's our homie.
Thanks, German Rifter, man, and I hope you enjoy the recorded version of the show. We've got Endeavor One in the house. He was here 7 minutes before liftoff. Thanks here for being Endeavor One. We got Duty Does up in here. I played a little Guardians with Duty the other day.
And speaking of Duty Does real quick, we have a we got a super chat real quick too. But first let's do super chat. Yay!
Whoa!
Thank you. Woo-hoo.
So what is the super chat?
So what is what?
What's the super chat?
The super chat. Oh, the super chat says, "Love you guys. Sorry for missing last week and can't wait for us to hang out."
That's from Z Storm Games, dude.
I love Z Storm.
Thanks, Z. You are
He's
the
awesome.
man.
He's such
really
a good
is.
guy. Duty Does, by the way, has been putting together a list of accessible, friendly games, and I put a link to the description in that down in the a link to that in the description. Sorry about that. But so if you want to, if you like to sit when you play, or you're in a wheelchair, or whatever the case may be, check that out. He is actively testing games that work with the OVR advanced settings to be able to stand you up so you can better play these games. And so thank you to Duty. And if you're a developer, contact Duty at Duty Does on Twitter if you want him to try your game.
Yeah, that's that's a pain point in the VR space, as you know, because you kind of a lot of the games are designed for able-bodied folk, you know, so it's like you need to be accessible, and Duty is exposing it. So thanks, Duty.
Yeah,
we've got Space Denizen in the house. We've got Virtual Steve up in here.
What's up, guys?
Steve XM, just in case any of you guys are old schoolers.
Yeah, and Space Denizen. Yeah.
Void Citizen, right?
Void Citizen.
We're going to remember all of your names. You guys just keep changing your names. I'm going to remember all
no
of them.
witness protection shit here.
Short Stack VR in the house. RobynzReality. Hello, my dear.
What's
Thank you
up,
for
Robin?
joining us. Sampler 19 here, as always. Thanks, Sampler 19, for showing up to the show. We got Mateo311.
What's up, Mateo?
One of the very few people who have ever been inside the Between Reality spaceship. That's pretty amazing.
That's right. We actually flew it over, picked him up, did a show, dropped him off. Yep.
Yeah, we got Your Pal in the house. What's up, Your Pal, with the verified flex?
What's up, Your
Pal? Got Obscure Nerd VR. Andy's here,
Andy,
dude.
what's up, buddy?
And Immerse Robot and Arcanian VR. Thank you guys so much for joining us. What's up? So, man, I don't know, how is the duration of this intro, by the way? Because I actually get a little bit. This is like the meta episode. All right, we're like taking a step back for this episode. If this intro is a little long, let me know. I enjoy doing it.
Me too, man. I love saying hi to everybody.
Yeah.
These are the people that make my freaking day all the time. I love these guys.
Feel free to give us feedback, everybody. You know, if all of a sudden you're like, hey, will you guys just get to the fucking show already, please? Then I will. I'll skip all these shout outs, you know. We can speed it up, but I personally enjoy kind of taking our time.
I do too. I do too.
Good. All right. Well, I'm glad we're on the same page.
Sweet.
Rock versus reality. Thanks also for joining us. And of course, as always, we have a guest joining us today, don't we?
Yes, we do. We do. From across the other side of the planet, actually. Someone that I've been watching for a super long time. Just amazing VR content, an amazing community that this guy has built up. And I'm super excited to talk to the Mysticle today.
Yep, absolutely. He's definitely one of our favorite up-and-coming VR video creators. So please, everybody, welcome to Between Realities, the Mysticle.
What's up? What's up, everyone?
Yo, dude.
Guys, you're making me blush.
Yeah, right? This is good. This, you come on the show, right? You're gonna get the Between Realities treatment.
Heck
You
yeah.
know, we're
Hell
gonna
yeah.
give it to you. We're gonna tee you up. We're gonna let you just boom, knock it out of the park. You know what I mean?
Sounds great. Sounds
Thanks.
great. I can't wait to talk.
Sweet, man.
So-
Thanks for staying up late for us tonight.
Yeah. What time is it where you're at?
It's exactly 11 right now. Well, 11:08. So,
Sweet.
I mean, reasonable time.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Right on. For some reason, I thought it was going to be like 2 a.m. there or something like that.
Where's there? Where are you?
Ireland.
Ireland. Okay, I thought
Yeah,
so.
a lot of people actually wonder that from time to time. They're like, where exactly am I? Because they can't pinpoint my accent.
Yeah, it's not the thickest Irish accent I've
Right.
heard.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, trust me, I've heard some really hardcore Irish accents that I cannot understand.
I love it. I mean, I love like the Irish accent. I love the Scottish brogue. I love it when I like can barely discern the words that they're spitting, even though they're speaking 100% English. You know, it's amazing.
I like it all too,
It
man.
tends to confuse me.
Yeah. Well, and we were saying before the show too, like this time zones thing, man. Like it wasn't until VR for me anyway that I really had to care about time zones, and it can be difficult, you know, matching up times with people who live in different continents, and you're staying up into the middle of the night to do this with us and stuff. So it's
Especially when you're in Arizona and we don't
nice,
switch
though.
time zones. So it's
You know,
really weird.
like it's nice because you get to meet people that you wouldn't normally be able to meet because you'd be staying up in only your time zone, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree completely, man. And especially with VR too, because now you can hop in and like look them avatar face to avatar face and hang out, and it's like you're right
Yeah.
there, transcending space and time.
indeed.
Absolutely.
Hey, Texas Green Tea, AJ, thanks for joining us here. and
What's up?
showing up to the show. So it's been, I would say it's been a pretty exciting week in VR, you know, for the most part. And I do want to start to get into some of that. But first, I do want to learn a little bit more about our guest, you know. So don't get me wrong. We've got
Ditto.
stuff to get into today. But I want to talk about the Mysticle a little bit. So I did a little dive on your YouTube channel, right?
Okay.
And I noticed that you are absolutely what I would consider a VR YouTuber. You have a couple of little other things kind of sprinkled in here or there. You know, sometimes you lean a little into like the computer tech and stuff. That's cool. But I would call you a VR YouTuber if I may. But I noticed that basically started with the Oculus Quest. Like I didn't see a VR
Yeah.
video on your channel before the Quest came out, and then like boom, there it is, Oculus Quest 1.
You're bitten by the
That's where the
bug.
content started. But I found it interesting how long you've been on YouTube. You've been on YouTube way before the Oculus Quest came out, huh?
The old videos, my god.
They're there, so you know.
I haven't removed them.
No, you haven't.
I've been asked by multiple people why I haven't removed them. I don't know. I guess it's kind of like for memory's sake, almost, to be honest.
So what's there?
It's-
What would someone find if they went back to like your first couple months of YouTube content?
Well, first of all, definitely cringe. A lot of them have been hidden by YouTube itself because YouTube classified them as content with kids in it. So quite a few of those videos have actually ended up being hidden by YouTube because the channel is selected as not for kids, you know.
Right.
But a lot of it is still there. They would find kind of. Do you guys know Good Mythical Morning?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I do not.
I'd say the old content used to be very like that because I believe in like the very beginning, that's who I looked up to, and that's kind of how the content started. Those were like the first few videos.
Well, and it's so interesting to me, right? Because you're a young guy. You're 19, am I right?
19, yeah.
19, the Mystical, 19 years old and crushing it for a 19-year-old kid,
Right?
man. Like, and I don't mean
Rocking
to
it.
use the word kid loosely like that, but like for you, 6 years is a very intense difference, right? Like who you were 6 years ago as a 19-year-old, 13 to 19. And I think your channel's like 8 years old, so you must have been like 11 or something when you started YouTube.
Oh, wow.
11-year-old kid.
There's another channel that came before this. So.
Oh god. So you started this shit when you were literally a kid. And now you have like grown up, and you can see the Mysticle like growing up from like being like an 11-year-old kid to this 19-year-old man that you see sitting in front of you. That's not really the case for folks like me, or even especially for folks like Harry, because he's so damn old.
What you say?
You know, I'm 30.
come on.
I'm 34. So the difference from 28 to 34, like, I don't know, like not that much,
40,
you know what I mean?
43 for me.
Yeah, like not that much of a difference, you know? So it's interesting because those 6 years are absolutely pivotal when you're younger. So what got you into starting YouTube as a young, fresh-faced 11-year-old kid?
That is something, I don't know. It's a hard question because it's hard for me to, I've got a very bad memory. So me looking back at then, you know, it was always kind of, I guess, the dream job. I think back then is when the whole YouTube craze started. You know, everyone had a YouTube channel, no matter whether the content they uploaded was good or bad. They were uploading literally the weirdest shit on there, you know? But I think that's how it started. And then I realized that I actually enjoyed doing it, and it became a hobby. And then for some reason, it survived this long.
So what was your, because I also noticed that your early YouTube channel was not a gaming channel. There's like a lot of gaming channels that transitioned into being VR channels, but you weren't like playing video games on YouTube. What was your first video game console, right? Like, are you a gamer? Were you a gamer growing up?
Oh yeah, no, I was absolutely a gamer. I was the PlayStation guy. My first console was the PlayStation 2. And I'm never going to forget, you know, going on summer holidays every year, that once I got for summer holidays, I'd visit my cousin, he'd have the PlayStation 2, and we'd go gaming. I'm also never going to forget when we got our first PlayStation 2, and my parents would take away the games because they would say they caused violence.
Ouch.
You've murdered quite a few people since then, haven't you?
Yeah.
I mean, if those caused violence, I don't know what VR does.
Oh my God, right? Right? If Blade and Sorcery isn't going to turn you into a full-blown murderer, I don't think anything will.
Dude, I feel like you get it out of your system, you know? It's like you get in there, you murder some people in Blade and Sorcery, you take off the headset.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh, refreshing.
That's what I need.
I mean, I must say that is exactly the case.
Well, I will, you know, you entered the video games world at a pretty interesting time too, because I mean, when I was a kid, my first console was an NES, and I was actually late to the party. I should have been a Super Nintendo at my age, but my parents got me an NES as other kids were getting Super Nintendo. So I am actually grateful because I'm grateful because I got a natural progression. I got NES, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, like along the lines, you know, and in those earlier years of video games, like violence and stuff like that, were like, it's like very heavily implied, you know. It's like, oh look, this dot is a bullet, and it's and now that's a dead guy, you know. But like, you started playing video games when Grand Theft Auto 3 was a thing, and that's so intense.
Wow.
Like, and for the record, one of the best goddamn gaming experiences ever. Yeah.
Oh wow. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, I remember, dude. I mean, I was playing the original Grand Theft Auto when that came out on DOS. You know what I mean? And then I remember when the OpenGL one came out and everything looked so smooth and it wasn't so pixelated anymore. And Grand Theft Auto 2. And then I was always like, man, whoever makes this into a 3D game is going to be rich beyond their wildest dreams.
Oh yeah,
and now look at Rockstar. Wow. Damn, man.
And so you're talking those games that may have had like actual violence in it, you know? But the thing is, I never even played those. I was playing Crash Bandicoot, and that was the game that caused violence.
You're like, no, he's smashing boxes. I'm like, no, you don't condone this behavior.
Don't let him near a UPS truck.
And that was the game that was taken away from me. And now it's in my wardrobe forever. And no one's ever going to take it away from me.
Or you will murder them.
I love it. I assume that your folks are singing a different tune by now, right? I think I've even heard you mention your mom in your videos before. So they're singing a different tune at this point.
Oh, absolutely. Like my dad, my mom was into VR pretty much since the very beginning, to be honest with you. I was very surprised. She's a huge fan of Beat Saber. She actually wants to start getting into VR workout games.
Nice.
Wow,
my dad was always against VR. Like, he'd go in from time to time, but he never liked it. But then I showed him Demio, and my God, does he want to play every Friday now?
Nice.
Wow. Yeah, I saw that they that your parents took all the headsets, commandeered them with their friends, and were playing Demio. That's fantastic. I can't even imagine.
Dude, good job,
Oh,
man.
it was great to watch.
Right on.
I'm not allowed to leak any photos of it, though, but it was hilarious.
Dude, good job for creating an atmosphere where your folks felt like comfortable enough to like invite friends over, put headsets on, and be like, "No, trust me, everybody." And their friends are like, "Are you shitting me?" And they're like, "Trust me." You know, like that's due to your efforts. If I may credit you a little bit there.
I don't know how it happened. I didn't expect it to happen. The friends were just over one day, and my dad was like, "No, you need to try this." And he actually, my dad, the person that was against VR, forced them to try VR, and now they're in on it as well.
What was his, just out of curiosity, what was his reasoning for being against VR?
Well, he was bad at it.
Yeah.
Brutally honest.
People don't like stuff they suck
He never
at.
tried to hide it. He
true.
never tried to hide the fact that he just didn't get it. He didn't understand how to play it. It wasn't intuitive to him. Or maybe he just didn't try the correct games.
Yeah.
Because when I let him try Half-Life Alyx, that was the first time he stopped being against VR. He did not want to leave. But I wanted to go to sleep. So maybe that was it. He just didn't, like, he wasn't able to comprehend it, you know? He never tried to hide that, though. He knew he was bad at the game.
That is interesting, because you're right. People just naturally don't like what they're not good at.
Yeah.
You know, which is kind of funny.
If Brittany, my wife, if you're listening, that's something that we have made insanely large progress over our relationship, because I would introduce her to a game and she doesn't instantly know how to play it. Right. So she thought it was bad. And I would have to like go through like, no, we have to learn this stuff. We have to gain skills. You have to fail actually in order to learn how to get things
just
done.
like anything in life, really. It's very rare you do anything in life and right away you're just a pro at it.
The reason why one of the things that I absolutely fucking love about all video games is that they create a safe space and safe environment to experience failure. Because where you go, when you go out into the world and you're taking risks, the consequences of those risks can have dramatic effects, right? Like you can like say, oh, I'm going to go try jumping over this chasm or something. And if you try it in real life and you're incapable of doing that and you fall to your death, that's it. Game over for realsies. In a video game, you can jump over chasms for hours and like really experience what it feels like to not be good at something, to fail at something, and to gain that comprehension, to gain those skills. And I love games for that.
Real quick, I want to say, I just saw a comment that says, man, I want to play VR with my dad. And that's the Bearded Bard, which is such an awesome dude. And the man behind VRTRend Magazine. The absolute coolest thing to hit the VR world in a very, very long time. This is a super high quality, absolutely amazing magazine. And if you are not subscribed to this, go do it right now.
For the record, they're not paying
right
us.
now. No, they are not.
This was not a commercial.
I friggin' love this magazine.
Yeah, this was authentic. That just came out of him.
Yes.
Like, that
and
is
I
not a
keep
promotion.
this. I keep this here when we're doing podcasts, because anytime I want to be like, VRTRend, get VRTRend right now. Do it.
It is amazing.
So anyway,
it is really great to
is.
have a print thing. So, that's great that you got your folks into it. You've managed to discover some like tipping points for them. What was it for you? Like why VR? Like how did this happen?
So it definitely, I would like to say it started with the CV1. And I actually have a super old video on my channel where I unboxed the CV1, which was my first 6DoF headset, which I remember saving up for like ages, because I bought that thing for €700. It's amazing to see, how far we've come now that you can buy the Quest for like $299. It's incredible. But I actually started off on the Google Cardboard with the PlayStation Move controllers, with this app installed on my phone that allowed me to play Steam VR games, with the PSI camera. Actually, I had 3 PSI cameras. I borrowed them from my neighbors and I never gave them back.
Is this real?
So you played
And I
Steam
used
VR
that
games?
for 6DoF positioning.
You played Steam VR games on a Google Cardboard with the PlayStation Move controllers.
Yeah, we need to make sure that it's very obvious I sellotaped a PS Move controller to my head. I want you to imagine that, because that was my 6-off positioning.
Wow. Dude, you're a fucking genius. That
Oh, I wasn't the one who made the tutorial. I just followed it,
Right.
but it must have looked beautiful.
Wow, that is impressive.
dude.
That is very impressive. So you must have lost your damn mind when you got that CV1 and all of a
Oh, yeah,
sudden you can move
absolutely.
around. So if you got it right away, then you didn't even get it with touch controllers, right? Did you get it with an Xbox controller?
I was late to the party. I
okay.
got it when the touch controllers were already out.
Nice.
I think I was using the Google Cardboard with PS Move controllers before the touch controllers were out, though. Because they were emulating Vive ones, and if I'm correct, the Vive was out before the touch controllers were out, if I'm correct on that. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you had Move controllers and the eye camera. So did you like cannibalize that from your PS3? Did you pick them up with the intention of doing VR?
No, they were stolen from the PS3.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And by the way, I do want to say, because before the show we were talking briefly, and I was saying how the CV1 touch controllers, the Oculus Rift CV1 touch controllers, are still to this day my favorite VR controllers. They are just super ergonomic. They sit in your hand. Just, oh God, they're just so awesome, man. They feel great.
They
And,
are
you
really
know,
good.
props
I feel
to
like,
Palmer
they
Luckey.
kind of went back to that design style with the Oculus Quest 2 ones.
Yep.
But the ring is the other way around instead of being downward.
Right. Which makes it so you can't still really just let go of the controller and just have it sit there. I mean, the CV1 controllers were just perfect in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so
They were very good. I do personally, I think I prefer the index controllers.
Ooh, interesting.
Maybe it's because I haven't had them break on me yet.
Oh, that's probably it.
No, that's
No?
not it, because mine aren't broken.
Wait, you haven't RMA'd any either?
No.
What the fuck? Wow, how is this a thing? I've been through 4 sets of those
Well,
things.
I mean, not all of us.
And now I'm
you.
so like delicate. I'm playing games. I'm like, ooh, I gotta be very careful.
And I definitely don't. I'm like gripping the ever living fuck out of mine.
Oh, I am not careful with mine. I did a handstand on mine before I was told that I'm supposed to put them around my wrist. So I was pushing the index controllers into the ground.
That's lovely. Well,
What the hell's wrong with all my controllers?
so,
What's going on here?
dude? I don't know. Well, I don't know, man. You're a big guy. Maybe you don't know your own strengths.
I guess. I don't know, man. Jeez.
So I
Crazy.
think here's a good thing. We should talk about one of our topics today. And we don't always have topics, but today we do. There's something that came out today, some images that we saw, and it's a perfect segue into it. So we might dive more into the Mysticle and his life in a little bit. But for
I'm
now,
cool with that.
I want to talk about these Deca Move controllers.
I'm gonna fire it up just here so that I can see
Yep, fire that
the
shit up.
images of them.
So
Because
Yes.
they're actually different, which I was surprised about. I'm sure you've noticed that most of the VR companies nowadays, all the controllers look kind of the same. They all follow kind of the same pattern.
Sure.
These are the
And,
first ones I've seen that are
they
kind of
look
different.
Kinda like the Valve Index Knuckles.
They do look
a
like
little
it.
bit. But there's
But they're
no
missing the
tracking
tracking
ring. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the first set of controllers I've seen without a tracking ring, except for these weird leaks. And I should have grabbed them of these possible Quest 3 or Quest Pro controllers that also don't have tracking rings.
I've seen those. Yeah,
But,
the ones with that. How do you even hold those?
you should
I
dig
don't
that
even
up.
completely
know.
honest with you.
I don't know.
Will you
Yeah.
dig that up?
These
Because I
look
haven't
like
seen
they're
it.
supposed to be thrown.
Yeah, they do, and they will get thrown. I'm sure they will.
We're gonna have more Wiimote videos.
I
I've got the
fucking
picture up
I
here.
chucked one of Skiva's index controllers in here
You did.
like a couple months ago. Well, I forget what we were doing.
I think Blade and Sorcery.
Yeah, we were making a blade and sorcery video, and I was swinging a sword hard, and I think I might even thrown the sword, and I let go, and because I don't know about everybody else in the world, but for some reason I actually don't have the wrist straps on
I don't
my
either.
index controllers, right? I don't know why,
Yeah.
but they seem unnecessary maybe because it's attached to my hand. But they're
Yeah.
actually not. because
Until they
there's
go
so
flying
many
across the room.
There's so many times where I would love to let them dangle, and I'm like, I can't. So these Deca Move controllers do look more like an index controller than anything else that is on
Definitely.
the market right now.
But even not fully that, they do actually seem to have some form of a new design choice and a ball at the bottom, which I assume is going to be what's tracking them.
So that's interesting because I want to talk about those balls But I did want to talk about these balls because that to me it kind of looks like a seat for a peripheral. You know, like a gun stock or something like that. Or you can like attach it into two things, you know, and then like hold it or something, you know. Kind of looks like it would like latch in and like lock.
Yeah, I see what you're trying to say.
Mm-hmm. So
and then you'd also be able to rotate it inside the peripheral because it is a ball.
Right. So you have like your flight sticks, right? You can have like attach it to the flight stick machine.
Yeah.
Do that. You've got your gun
stocks. That would be cool. But then how would it track?
That I do not know.
Unless you know, we have the Slime VR trackers now, you know, a tracker-less technology is becoming better and better, you know. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you do that with controllers because you kind of need that 6-stealth positioning. You can't just work with the angle like what the Slime VR trackers do. Yeah. I don't know. I'm incredibly confused because now your theory seems to make much more sense than mine, because I was going to say they could be like the PS Move balls because the PS Move tracked using balls, but they don't look see-through. No. So
and maybe
my theory kind of...
Maybe chat can weigh in a little bit too. Gamertag VR is here.
What's up, GT?
The VR Realm is here. Mr. Trinidad is here. So
what's up, VR Realm?
we've got you know, the Beard Bard, of course. So we've got plenty of VR experts in here.
Hell yeah!
How the hell do these things track? I mean, they could just very well be infrared lighting on the balls in the bottom too. So I mean, who knows?
It is a very small tracking spot though. Like,
very small
would
balls.
Occlusion, you know, do you not think occlusion would be a problem, you know, with the small balls?
It would be 100%. It would be 100%, especially if your hand slides into that space right there, you know, because then like your arm is going to be getting in the way. Right?
It's going to be like underneath, to be honest, like right here somewhere. That's
to me that looks like some kind of mounting mechanism.
Now, so real quick, I do want to show a picture of these controllers. I couldn't find an actual picture, so I know Thrill Seeker made a video with them in there, so I just pulled that up and fast forwarded real quick. Yeah. So here are the supposed maybe leaked controllers for the Oculus Quest Pro.
It's just but that's just an in-game model, right?
No, I don't know. I mean, no one knows where this stuff came from. No one knows if it's legit or not. I mean, that is supposedly a Quest Pro back there too, but who knows, man? I you know, we don't know.
Right.
We don't know. This is just a thing. And you know, Thrill says in this video as well that, you know, it's the sources are weird. You know,
very weird. So I watched that video as well.
Yeah. Weird sources. So, you know, take this with a huge pile of salt.
A pile of salt.
A pile of salt.
I thought you were going to say a huge grain of salt.
Well, of course,
like
but this is
a crystal of salt?
Take this with a big pile.
This is a pile of granular salt.
Right. Right. No confusion here. We have no idea what the hell this is.
We have no idea what the hell is going on. Actually, today is fucking crazy. So you know, the big thing here for me is I have been hugely lacking with having a fucking Lighthouse tracked controller with an analog stick and a button to grab. Like, is it that much to ask?
These aren't going to be Lighthouse tracked though either, right?
So there's reason one why I don't think I'm going to love them, because the tracking for cameras for me is just not as good as Lighthouse's, and I don't know.
Wait, so you're looking for a Lighthouse tracked controller with a button to grab?
Yes, and an analog stick. That's all I want.
Wait, I don't have the analog stick, but I have all the...
Yeah, I need an analog stick. Don't show me a Vive wand or some shit. Like, I don't want to see that. Some Nolo controller. What is that?
Was that a...
Button to grab.
What the
Lighthouse tracked.
Are those the Vive?
No. Is that the sword controllers?
IMAX swords.
Oh, I've been dying to check those out. How are those? Tell me all about them immediately.
So... I don't even remember the specifications, and I'm not allowed to reveal them, you know, NDA and stuff. But I did already make a video about them, so I can tell you what I am allowed to tell you. They work really nicely. There is supposedly going to be a second version of these that is probably going to be more expensive than these. We don't know the price yet. I wasn't even told the price. See, these have the touchpad, which I know people hate.
Yes.
The other version is supposed to have a joystick. And full finger tracking and a grip button.
Now we're talking.
So you'd have everything.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
And let me tell you,
for sure,
they track really well and they are incredibly comfortable. But then you have this huge ring, and I don't mind it, to be honest, and it doesn't really like restrict your movement, but sometimes you could, punch the two together. Actually, maybe not even, because I find that to be more often with the touch controllers when I play Beat Saber. With these, well, you can't really punch them together because there's no tracking ring here. It's around your wrist.
Interesting.
So, I mean, they've been really nice to me. And just as a benefit, if I can, I don't know how difficult, I've never taken this off. There it is. Replaceable batteries.
Oh, sweet. So when you run out of batteries, you don't have to
and
try
rechargeable.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Wait, hold on. Batteries rechargeable, or
recharging?
there's a battery inside the controller.
Yeah, there's a battery inside the controller that you can take out, but this is a battery that you can buy, like a second one. So you can have 2 more of these on a charger, and when these die, you just replace them.
Damn.
That is amazing.
But you can also charge them inside the controller. It seems they've thought of everything.
That is great. That's great, because I'll tell you what, man, I can't tell you how many times I've been playing VR with my knuckles plugged in to USB-C while charging, and then trying to I'm pulling on the wires. I'm like, no, I refuse to stop playing.
Oh yeah, I know that. The only negative with this specific model I have here, the one without the joystick, is it only has 1 button, and I don't know what they were thinking, to be honest with you.
Oh, weird.
It's seriously, I haven't found it to be a problem yet, but I'm sure that is going to become a problem in the future.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Every game on the planet right now is really tailored to a 2-button system, right? And I did see the VR gamer dude posted some pictures of those as well, and with the touchpad control, and I'm really looking forward to the ones with the analog sticks and seeing how those review and see how they hold up too, right? Because we live in a world where controller drift with analog sticks is also a big problem. I have on my Quest 2, I have some drift going on, which is a total bummer.
I have no issues like that.
Well,
I don't know. I think we must be protected by some
the VR
force,
gods.
I've had no issues with mine either.
Yeah.
But I have heard so many horror stories. Seriously.
Yeah.
Dan Kitty VR is here. What's up, Dan Kitty? We've got Mepper in the house.
What's up, Mepper?
Cruising in, catching it live. Aspin Darkfire. What up, AD?
Aspin, how you doing, buddy? Long time.
And Hussein X is here too. This is
yeah,
awesome.
How's it going, Hussein X?
AD, we've been talking about the Pimax sword controllers. Actually, we've been talking about controllers in general.
In general.
With these Deca moves that kind of just came out, I've basically just been expressing that I just don't think these Deca moves are like the controller. Like every time I see a new controller, I'm like, is this it? Is this the one?
Well, one of the things we haven't mentioned yet is they talked about how you would no longer need to type in usernames and passwords. So I'm wondering if there's like a biosensor button on there where read your fingerprint or something like that. Which which could be a big deal, right? Because there's nothing worse than being in VR. You're all ready to go, and then the stupid username and password field shows up. Pull your headset up, go look up your credentials.
But we must also remember that I'm pretty certain, I'm gonna have to look back into their Twitter history, but didn't they tease adaptive triggers on these controllers? Like the PS5 controller has? I'm pretty certain they teased adaptive triggers. I'm gonna have to scroll through their posts, but I'm pretty certain they did. And let me tell you, from using this thing on a PC,
dude.
On a PC, you get some drivers that works. On the PC?
Yeah. You can force it to work. Yeah. Which is why I have it. I don't have a PS5.
Oh, okay.
I
really got a PS5 to try those things and, to boost my PSVR as well. Because I'll tell you, when the PSVR 2 comes out, I think that system is going to rock the planet.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to walk in, drop the mic and be like, what's up now?
I think it's going to be quite impressive. I think so too. I think there is going to be a certain amount of people that are going to have an issue with the wire.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be a thing. And is it supposed to have external tracking? I don't remember. Or is it inside-out tracked?
Supposed to be inside-out tracked.
Supposed to be inside-out tracked. Okay, well at least that. You don't need that stupid external camera.
Yep, and I think they have teased that in the future there might be an adapter for wireless. But a lot of people say that, and sometimes it doesn't happen. Valve. Valve. So yeah.
But I have really compared these to the PSVR ring, that's what I've been doing. I've been kind of comparing this to it because this is the ring we can expect around the PSVR. Maybe it's going to be smaller, maybe it's going to be larger, but it's interesting to be able to see it. I'm actually just scrolling through their Twitter right now, trying to find that post. But with all the Deca Move posts, it's
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, well, man, I'm excited for some new controllers. I'm excited for a new headset, right? I'm curious to see how this company that no one's heard of is going to come out with this amazing headset. And, you know, the one piece of technology they've given us so far, the Deca Move, is, from what I hear, really cool. I have one, and I still haven't tried it. It's just sitting there, man.
I don't know where mine is, which is actually slightly upsetting. It was here, but that's how most stuff goes. It's here, and then it's not.
Yep. It's a small device, so it can get lost very easily.
Oh, yeah.
Do you...
but I can tell you, it works.
Do you have a PSVR?
No, I actually don't. I wanted to get one, because I have this PlayStation 4 on my wall, which I was incredibly proud of for drilling into my wall, by the way. I was told I'm going to fail by my mom. She didn't know I succeeded. What's underneath it and all the damage I did to the wall doesn't matter. The PlayStation is covering it. But I don't. This PlayStation 4 I actually got because it was broken, so I fixed it up myself, because I am still quite into technology. But so since then, because I didn't always have the PS4, I just kind of recently got it, I've been asking people, should I get the PSVR or should I wait for the PSVR 2 and kind of get the PS5 with that? People have been telling me, you know, the resolution is bad, the tracking is meh, but they're saying it's still the best headset for Beat Saber.
Well, that's because the wands, right? The PlayStation moves just feel like you're holding a saber. But I will tell you this. Although the PlayStation VR has a lot of shortcomings, their exclusive titles are absolutely friggin' awesome. They're so good. I mean, even to this day, right? We're not getting a lot of them, but the ones we get are freaking doozies. Like, I played through Fracked. And when that game was over, I was so sad. Right. That game is absolutely incredible. But to play Resident Evil 7 and Blood and Truth and like all of these just bangers, man. There's some solid titles on there.
That is something I completely forgot about, the exclusives. And PlayStation has that in the bag.
Yeah, but at the same time, right, I think they're going to make a big push to try to get these companies to go back through and port them to PSVR 2. And then when you play these games on the PSVR 2, it's going to be such an even better experience.
Well, I do want to like elaborate a little bit more on a point that the Mysticle just made about the cable, because I think this is going to be a conversation, like a big conversation,
for sure.
Because the cable is something that as a PSVR user, and I guess just a VR user in general, I've learned to deal with, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it. You know, with my PC and in my room that I have my computer and all that stuff, I have a pulley system. So anytime I'm like gonna do anything legit, or if I'm filming or something, boom, boom, pulleys, like handled, you know. But I also, most of the time, I'm so trained to face a certain direction, okay? Because PSVR is the first reason, because you have to be in front of that camera. So you can't be like turning around and have your controllers in front of you with your back face to the camera. So by playing like 500 hours of or more of PSVR, I like learned to plant my feet and like basically face one direction, even when I have the option in VR, you know? And then the other thing is that I'm constantly filming stuff. So when I'm playing games, I need to be facing a camera, not like turning around and like turning my back to the camera all the time.
I know.
So I'm always facing the camera as well when I'm filming. So that has translated into most of my VR gaming. And unless I'm doing something like Echo Arena that like really encourages you to turn around, I'm probably going to use the thumbsticks to spin. That's just the way I have learned how to do all of this. And with the PSVR, I had like a ritual of like getting in front of the cable, like having it, you know, like go behind my legs. And in fact, when I played Beat Saber, because I was going so fucking hard, I would unplug the PSVR, run the cable through my shirt, down out the bottom of my pants, and then into the fucking PlayStation. So that way there's no cord hanging, and it's all
that's like, a life hack right there.
Yeah.
So anyway, here's what I'm getting at. That's a fucking lot of stupid bullshit. You know?
It is, and there's also the link box, so you don't have just one cable. You have two sets of cables. I mean, they're kind of together, but then they break out, and you go into the breakup box. Then you got to go from the PlayStation to the breakup box to the PlayStation to the TV, and oh my god, what a pain in the ass.
So anyone who's used wireless VR, especially room scale, like arena scale, especially wireless VR, like anyone who has been embodied in VR, knows that that is where this is going.
Yeah.
They know that that's the future. They know that that is inevitable. And there's a huge pain point with that cable, because so many people, even though everything else will be next gen, that will keep it from being like hailed, right? Like as like the saving grace, like the thing that we've truly needed, because, well, it's good, but it ain't wireless, you know? And that's going to be a big problem, I think.
Sure. And
no,
you know,
I certainly agree.
Yeah, and I'm hoping they do make good with this wireless adapter rumor. That would be great. You know, it is kind of nice that it's one cable, one USB-C cable that goes right into the front of the PlayStation.
It's nice that it's one cable, but I've learned, like, my main is the Pimax 8KX. That thing is obviously wired. While I don't really mind the wire, well, it's because, I mean, look at the size of my room. So, I mean, I can't really move around that much here either. Plus, I do also have a pulley system, so that moves the wire out of my way. But the big problem for me with the wire isn't actually it getting in the way. It's the restriction it gives me. You can only have a certain amount of wire, and when we start getting larger play spaces, unless you're using a VR treadmill, of course, you're going to want to run around. Like, I played VR on the beach, I played VR at the airport, I played VR in a bunch of really weird places where I was able to run around. And that freedom seriously hits immersion. Well, for me anyway.
Well, here's a question. Do you think that Sony wants that restriction? Because this is a console VR system, right? This is supposed to be played in the living room. You know, it's just, you know, it's for a console. So do they want to tether you to keep you in one spot, as opposed to you running into a window or running down some stairs and falling down? And, like, you know, do you feel like maybe it was a choice?
That is a possibility, but, you know, with the power of the PlayStation 5 being pretty much as powerful as a PC, to be honest with you, I feel like Sony is heading towards the point where you're going to be using their system, you're going to be using their apps, you're going to get all the benefits of it being a Sony console, but it is slowly turning into a super powerful, really decently priced computer.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like we're getting there. Eventually, Sony might even add a desktop. Who knows? Their own, you know, they've already got their own OS.
Right. Yeah, well, you know, I remember on the PS3, I dual booted my PlayStation 3 into Linux, and that was a great thing.
I remember that before they locked it out, or did you manage to do it after?
No, I did it before, like right when they were like, "Hey, guess what you can do?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" Because at that time I was a Linux administrator, and I was like, "Yeah, let's do this," right? But, like, you know, let's be honest, I didn't use it very much. You know, I had Linux machines kicking around, and I worked in Linux, so it was kind of a thing. But it was a nice option to have, because you could use it as a full blown desktop on your computer. I mean, on your TV, which was great. But yeah, so this will be interesting.
Certainly.
Yeah. Yep,
also, I'm gonna send you guys. I found the Twitter link. I'm sending it to you right now.
Okay.
Where they teased adaptive triggers. Where Deca Gear teased adaptive triggers.
All right, pull that up. Let's see it.
Well, if I
did remember correctly.
If I go over to grab
I think that's
that,
something we can look forward to.
I'm going to lose your video feed.
We don't need to see him.
Well, all right, let's turn him off for a second and let me go grab that. Hold on a moment, the Mysticle, just a moment.
Pull that up. I'd like to see this tweet where Decamove is saying that they've got adaptive triggers coming, because is like,
how exciting.
That is the shit that everyone is talking about with the PS5. You know, they're like, yeah, the graphics are good, but the triggers. You know, like it's like that's what everyone. That's like the main topic of conversation when people talk about the PS5.
Yes. Okay. So here we go. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Firing that machine gun and having that trigger bounce back and forth. Now, for anyone that hasn't experienced this on a PlayStation 5, it is truly a magical thing when you feel the kick of the gun through your trigger. It's really just more immersive than I could have ever imagined, and that's on a flat screen. When we have this in virtual reality, and this is one of the reasons I'm so excited for the PSVR 2, but when we are able to feel that kick of the trigger, and you're really going to feel like you're holding that gun, and it is going to be just really, really cool. So I'm super stoked about this. For sure.
Yeah.
For me,
like, you really don't see how immersive it is until you try it. Right. You kind of look at it and you're like, oh yeah, a gimmick. It's according to me more than a gimmick.
Oh hell yeah.
there's like pressure thresholds on the triggers that like blow my mind. Like that's the thing that
it's like working on hydraulics.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's like, there's like a lot of resistance at the beginning, and then you click through, and then there's less resistance after you get through it.
Depending on the experience.
And depending on what you're doing, they change that dynamically. Yeah,
it's insane.
It's really awesome.
Yeah. Now, Astrobot really showed a whole lot of different ways to that developers can use that type of adaptive trigger to have all kinds of different experiences, to feel like you're firing a bow and arrow or working some kind of a spring mechanism, or like there's just
like
so
squeezing
many
an apple,
cool things.
You know, like you could like feel it like crunching, you know, like the layers of something.
And we know how absolutely incredibly immersive haptics are in virtual reality.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, like, do you think haptics are half the story? Because I personally do. Good haptics, according to me, are insane. If implemented correctly, they can be incredible.
Yeah, I hope Alex feels that way working for bHaptics.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely do. I mean, there are, I'm not, how do I say this? I would say that the bHaptics community is as passionate and uses their shit as much as I do. You know, like
certainly. I've got one hanging right behind me there. It's amazing.
It is awesome, you know, and there are a lot of like obvious use cases for haptics, you know, like the ones we're talking about right now: pulling a trigger, having a gunfire in your hands, being shot, getting slashed with something, or an impact of some kind. You know, like those are all very, very obvious uses of haptics. But I think as we have more of these like sensitive tools at our disposal, I'm really hoping that developers get creative, because
certainly
I look to Nintendo, dude, and I've said this on the show before, but if you have a Nintendo Switch, fire up any first party Nintendo game, right? Like fire up like Mario Odyssey and pay attention to how and where your fucking hands are feeling the vibrations, and it is everywhere. They have haptics in like your menu selection, the screen swapping over, you know, the this, that, like every little tiny, like there's like little bumps, little bump, just like little, the tiniest, most subtle
things. And those little
things.
bumps, you don't notice them, but they're there.
Yep.
And they're what makes the experience a whole. Even if you don't notice them at first. That's what, like,
you're 100% right. The Mysticle. I'm gonna call you the Mysticle. You're 100% right. The Mysticle, and you know, this is like, I give this advice to new bHaptics owners, and no one ever takes it because they don't imagine why I could be right when I say this. But the first thing everybody wants to do is take their vest and crank the intensity up to 400. That is like the first thing anyone fucking does when they get a bHaptics vest. They're like, let's go. And they like want to just jam this thing. And the reality of it is what we're talking about. If you can actually make those bumps more subtle and more implied and less like real, and just like the vibration just shaking you, your brain takes that and just like, it's like having like a
turns
nice
it into
meal.
reality.
It's like,
it's like someone touching you in VR chat, like rubbing their hand against you, you know? It's like that kind of thing.
It needs to be subtle. It needs to be soft.
It needs to be subtle, yeah. As nice as those really hardcore vibrations are, to have that option, to have them there, that's more like nuclear explosion type.
Totally.
Right. Well, you know, when you have a grenade go off in VR, obviously you want to feel that hit really hard. But if someone touches you, you don't want to feel like
it's not like
grenade was in their hand. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense. So your brain will unconnect from the experience if it's too much. And I hope Z-Storm Gaming is in the chat here, because he's Mr. 400% all the time with everything, right? With his haptic stuff. But like, I'll tell you, man, some of the most mind-blowing experiences I've had with bHaptics equipment is it's like little things like hugging my friends in Neos or something like that, and you feel that little bit of you know, the vest showing you that you're being touched by another person. Like, it's crazy.
Absolutely.
You see the avatar, you feel the avatar. It's absolutely nuts. And to have like, and obviously as well, like in Half-Life Alyx, when you're getting healed, in healing in a lot of different games, but being healed with haptics is absolutely crazy because it feels just like I would have imagined as a kid.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and those are some of the more fun and like more creative, to my earlier point, kind of opportunities, right? Because you have to kind of design what it would feel like on a haptic vest to get healed.
Yeah.
To like to have health points restored, And
It really makes you think.
it does. And again, these are all very, in my opinion, more obvious use cases for haptics. It's like you get hit, you hit something, something's interacting with you. But the developer of Guardians just did a nice fleshed out native vHaptics integration. And I didn't even include this as I'm like very hands-on with these integrations at this point. And I didn't even like include this as a suggestion. This is something that the developer did. He took the tactile, which is the face one, and you typically will feel getting punched or maybe headshots or explosions here. But he ended up using this to convey the information of when my base was taking damage. So when my base took damage, I started getting the vibrations up here, and that added a huge sense of urgency and gave me some insanely vital information that I was not privy to. I'm like blasting bugs, and I don't realize that my base is getting beat on back there, and then I start feeling it here, and it's like alert, alert, and I'm like, oh shit. So that gave me info that I didn't have. I wasn't getting shot in the head for the vibration. It was something else that was making that happen, but it was a creative way to use the tactile and give me information and kind of like use haptics to deliver something a little bit different other than just like this typical what you would expect kind of scenario.
Yeah, those are definitely the ways I kind of want to see it used as well, the less obvious ways. That's
proximity.
That's the correct way to do it.
Someone I could think about this stuff all the time, of course, and I like someone take this. Okay, here you go. Here's a free one for you. I imagine a game, like a VR game, possibly, of course, a VR game where maybe like you're blind, right? And like you have to use the haptics of the vest to determine your proximity to stuff. So like,
oh man, you should totally go after the game blind.
Right? Yeah, sure. Something like that.
Right?
And then,
that would work very well.
Maybe once you figure out where something is, you can illuminate it and then you can actually see it in the headset or something. But like proximity would be something that would be really cool. Like as you get closer, you start to feel the presence of it more, and it like starts to throw something very gently. And as you get closer to it, it gets stronger and you can use that information to move around. And there's just a lot of outside the box ways that I am excited to see developers introduce some of this stuff.
Yeah, man, haptics are awesome. Haptics are so great, and it just gives me another reason to look forward to these new Deca controllers if they're going to have adaptive triggers. I mean, that's amazing. That's so cool. This is the way we're going. I mean, and anyone that doesn't implement adaptive triggers from this point on, since PlayStation showed how amazing it is doing it wrong. So.
Certainly
happens.
agree there. If Valve makes that new headset and they don't have adaptive triggers, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to like steal the PSVR 2 controllers and use those with that headset, or the Deca controllers. Actually, you know what? They're Steam VR made. So
speaking of Steam, there's also a bunch of tweets that kind of caught some traction today. I actually saw a couple different ones. I saw one, I think it might have been some Sadly It's Bradley footage of some VR running on a Steam Deck. And they're in Steam Home and they're moving the headset around and it fucking looks pretty damn good. And I also saw a tweet from Denny from Cloudhead Games, the developers of
So here's that
Pistol
tweet
Whip.
really quick with Steam VR Home running on the Steam Deck. And then we can kind of move over to the one of Denny. Now we have to let people know right now that these are developer units. You can't just go plug this in and just have it work. There's also some caveats here, right? Like Denny says in this video, there is no display actually being shown on the VR headset. So the headset's blacked out, but this is the first of this, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna work this out.
This is why I wanted you to pull up Denny's, because it's easy to just like show a clip of this working and like, holy fuck, hype. But it is great to have a developer come on and be like, hey, here's the situation for realsies. Let's not get too excited. For the record, this is cool, but it's not like you can go pick up a Steam Deck and jump into Pistol Whip tomorrow.
Right, exactly. It's showing the potential that this could work. Now, please keep in mind, that your frame rate is this thing isn't going to be able to hold a frame rate, especially with an index, right? If you think you're going to get 144 frames a second out of Half-Life Alyx on a Steam Deck, you're out of your mind. So just saying. But
It would be nice though.
It would be. It would be. This is the beginning of something special, because what we see here is that the hardware here is capable of running these experiences, which means when they put this hardware into a standalone Valve headset, we are going to get some great experiences. They won't be PCVR experiences. And you're going to be able to run games like the Quest 2 does, no problem. Probably a lot better games with a lot higher fidelity, since it's going to be an x86-based system, right? So
let me ask this, because right now, the way that this thing looks, it like, let's say that this is the way that they intended this to be worked. Okay, let's just hypothetical. You buy a Steam Deck, it can run VR. You take your Quest with you. You put the Steam Deck in like your pocket. This is like a PC backpack computer turned into like the size of a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, miniaturization of technology, essentially.
Right. So right now, like, everyone's into this whole like all-in-one shit, right? Like the Quest, all-in-one, everything's built in, blah blah blah. Honestly, and I've said this before, and I don't know, I think this must be an unpopular opinion, but I was like borderline most impressed by those Hawaii glasses than anything else that I saw at CES last year or 2 years ago now.
Oh yeah.
And it was a pair of glasses that were running VR. It was 3DOF VR, but they could add 6DOF if they need to.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, and they did, and they had the plug-in by Nolo that made them 6DOF.
But I don't know if they were running that. That was a different thing. I'm talking about at the booth.
Oh, the white ones.
The Pico booth.
The Pico,
Pico
yes, the Pico glasses, yes.
And they were plugged into an iPhone. Right. And I have I already have a phone in my pocket. I have no fucking problem putting a phone in my pocket and then putting a headset on, or putting a Nintendo Switch like in a small bag in the headset.
Sure.
So I'm guessing what I'm talking about is, I guess what you're talking about, right? Taking that phone out of it, having just a display, and then you carry this around or put it in your bag or something.
Yeah, you could do that, but one of the biggest problem at this moment is thermals, right? You can't cool a phone. I used to have a Daydream, and I used it a lot just to look at 360 photos, right? Daydream was Google's like the thing you stuck
better
the
version
phone
of cardboard.
In. Right, exactly. It was a nicer version of cardboard, and you put your Pixel phone in there, or whatever Android was supported, and it did some cool VR experiences. But I'll tell you what, man, it like overheated in like 5 minutes, and then it would shut down. Yeah, like it just overheated so fast. 5-10 minutes, and you're kind of done. And it wasn't there's just issues. There's no active cooling in cell phones. Everything is just the heat is dispersed with heat sinks, and there's no way to blow it out of the phone. So you could never really have a phone in your pocket, really, at this point in time.
But what about the Switch? Like a Switch, just throw
the Switch
a little
has
fan
active
in it.
cooling. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what they did with the Quest too, right? They were able to really get a lot more out of that chip by putting a fan in there. And if you've seen some of the
even though the fan is pretty,
it's wicked
bad.
Weak. It is super weak. Yeah, but it just goes to show that
if we
any
could
disbursement.
That.
Right. And it's just there for the next heat wave that's coming through is really critical and crucial to running any good experiences, at least right now.
Yeah. What are you thinking, Mystical?
Like, I think right now with the Quest, they had constraints they wanted to work with, especially size constraints. They could have actually pulled much more out of it if they had added better cooling. But they probably didn't want that extra cooling because that would make the headset more bulky, and then they wouldn't be able to say that it's however much percent lighter, however much percent smaller. And they needed to do that in order to surpass the Quest 1, or else they'd be saying, oh, it's actually larger, oh, it's actually heavier. People would be kind of more towards it being smaller and lighter than that extra little bit of performance, even though I myself would have actually preferred the performance.
Ditto. Absolutely ditto. But it goes to show, man, thermals are everything right now. They could definitely put a huge fan in there, or somehow water cool that thing, like Thrill tried to do, which was a little silly.
Thrill did, but the problem with what Thrill did is he did water cool it, and he did a great job, to be honest with you. That video was great.
It was pretty funny.
But because we have no root access on the Quest, he didn't get any new
Right.
performance. And
Right.
I mean, I knew that because what I actually did, and I was saying this on a live stream a little while back, is I did a little experiment of my own. I've got an old water cooler from my PC, and I just sellotaped it onto the front of the Quest, not taking it apart or anything like that. I know, no direct cooling, but with a thermal gun, you could see it was cooler, but no performance changes. Sure, my method is a lot worse than Thrill's, but from that, I could kind of establish that he wasn't really going to get it up by Facebook. It can't do any more than it is currently doing, even if you cool it better.
Right, it's being held back by software.
Yeah.
The software is telling it, no, you cannot run at this clock speed. You need to stop right here. Right.
Because the software isn't, like, the software doesn't think anyone has got a water cooler. I mean, I don't think Oculus went into the headset being like, yeah, you can DIY this, it's fine.
Right.
And I know that if we had better cooling and root access, we would be able to overclock it. All my phones are rooted. I love messing around with root access. And this thing is overclocked. Like, with better cooling, you can overclock those chips, and you can get so much more out of these devices.
And what a segue to kind of pop over to, speaking of root access, John Carmack just recently tweeted that they would be distributing an unlocked OS build from the Oculus Go's headset with full root access. So this is really, really interesting news, right? It especially shocked me because I
actually see that one.
Yeah, so
that's amazing.
So this is a tweet directly from John Carmack, and I'm surprised, right? Because you would think Facebook would be like, no, period.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess John's got some pull. The man is a freaking genius, and I guess he's got some pull at the company. So this is great. I think we're going to see a lot of cool things come from this. It'll
he goes on to say here, this opens up the ability to repurpose the hardware for more things today, and means that a randomly discovered shrink-wrapped headset 20 years from now will be able to update to the final software version long after the over-the-air update servers have been shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have a custom ROM. I mean, I have a custom ROM on this one. This is actually the OnePlus 8 Pro, so this isn't exactly an old phone.
It's the same phone
I have a custom ROM on this to get rid of the crap that OnePlus put on it, to increase my battery life, to do stuff like that. It's amazing how much you can do when you have that access. It makes you wonder if they gave us access to the Go now, because it's a little bit older, will they do the same for the Quest 1 in a few years' time? Because if they do, we might get that 90 hertz on it.
Possibly, but that Quest 1 is running a derivative of the operating system that is running the Quest 2, right? So if they unlock the Quest 1, it's a very delicate line to walk, right? Because if you give someone too much access to your one piece of your closed software, all of a sudden they're breaking open what they are really trying to protect, right? Because everyone wants to root the Quest. Everyone wants to root that thing.
They could do it in a way where they only unlock the bootloader on the Quest 1. They don't necessarily give you the software, you know, because that way people couldn't mess around with the software. They couldn't find bugs in it and attack the Quest 2. They could just unlock the bootloader and allow the people to work on the Quest 1. That is assuming that the hardware inside the Quest 1 is completely different to the hardware inside the Quest 2. Because if it's the same in some ways, then I can see why they might not want to do that. Well, but if it is completely different,
Carmack wants it to go the way. Carmack is I don't know, man. Like, some people give Carmack a hard time because he is like in bed with Facebook, but I truly feel like he's one of us. I feel like he is legit. He
is, and I think it's unfortunate that he became a little brainwashed by the Facebook, machine.
I don't know. I don't think he did. I don't think he was brainwashed though. Like, I guess that's what I'm getting at. It's like I feel like he has he's in there and he's in bed with them, and he's like speaks up a little bit at the table. He's like, "Hey, wait a second, but the users, and they're like, "Shut up, John Carmack," and he's like,
There was something there. I don't remember exactly what it was. I'm gonna need to fire up the news sites here, upload VR, Road to VR, because I don't remember exactly. But wasn't he taking over at some point? Isn't he supposed to take over?
No, so unfortunately,
oh no, Andrew Bosworth
is taking over.
CTO in 2022.
Yeah, dude, I am not the biggest fan of this guy. Because I feel like he is very much a part of this machine, this full-blown Quest machine. He does not have our best interests in mind. He doesn't care about our children or any of our stuff. He wants our data, and he doesn't give a crap how he's going to get it, because that is what's truly valuable.
I got the names wrong. So.
Yeah. So, but
there's a difference between those two names.
There very much is, because the brain inside of Bosworth is not the brain inside of John Carmack.
And I mean, I honestly, I don't know what happens at Facebook, right? I don't know the inner workings. I don't know the conversations that Zuckerberg is having with Andrew Bosworth and the ones that Carmack overhears and tries to influence. Like, I don't know any of that stuff. All I know is what I see. And I can just go purely off of the vibes, right? And I watch Carmack and I'm like, I fucking see you, dog. And he does these unscripted talks for Oculus Connect. He's like, yo, I'm Carmack. Anyway, here's the fucking real deal. And gives it to you straight, you know? I love him. And then Boz goes on Instagram or Twitter and he's like smirking at the camera and being all fucking cute and shit. And like, I don't get the vibe that I'm being kept real with
You're
him.
Not.
You know, like I don't get the vibe that like that's my homie. You know, but when I see Carmack talking, I'm like, that's my fucking homie right there.
Yeah, and he's been around since the beginning. He was the man that came up with Doom and Quake and all of these amazing things and made gaming what it is today. So I have mad respect for John Carmack. I do not have any respect for Bosworth. So anyway.
I feel like when Bosworth goes on to these AMAs and stuff, he'll try to throw you off almost from time to time. He'll try to give these leaks that aren't really leaks or winks in a direction to kind of hype up the product. Yeah. But then there's not actually something there to hype up, you know?
Why is it that they are allowed to have stuff that we can't see when we are being seen by everything that they do? All of our movements, the cameras on the headsets, they see everything, they hear Facebook. Everything. Why can't we go into their meeting rooms and be like, let's listen in and see what these guys have? It's a little bit freaking hypocritical if you ask me. But anyways, I'm not going to get into a Facebook rant or I'm going to end up flipping the table.
I know, right? Well, I'll just say that for me, the tipping point with Boz, because like, you know, he comes onto the scene, he starts being Mr. Oculus or whatever, and like, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't know who he is or anything like that, you know? For me, the tipping point was when they introduced the ads to Blast On, and then he jumps on like Twitter or some shit, and he's like, you guys won't hate it as much as you think you will, you know?
I remember that.
You won't hate like you won't hate it as much as you think. And it's like,
and then
who are you to tell me what I'm gonna fucking like and not like?
And then they review bombed the game, unfortunately. And please never do that, people. That is very not
that's
good. Right?
Not good.
But then he came on and he's like, well, you guys, that was very immature, you people. That was blah blah blah. It's like, shut up, dude. What are you, my dad? Get the hell out of here. Beat it. Scram.
Yeah, it was that specific comment. You guys won't hate it as much as you think you will. It's like, okay, so you know we're gonna hate it, and you're basically just like telling us to fucking deal with it.
He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about the consumer. He cares about the data, and that's it.
Yep. So anyway, who knows what the fuck's gonna happen? Whatever. We're just gonna keep being obedient little bitches, buying fucking Oculuses and surrendering our data and just taking it up the ass.
Man, we need some competition, please. Give us some competition out there, people. Come on,
I agree with
Valve.
that. We absolutely need competition.
Yeah. There is a lot coming. There is a lot coming. I'm always seeing, leaks for new headsets and companies out there that are, some of the competition is no better than Facebook. Like ByteDance that bought Pico, which is a damn shame. They're known for discrimination and racism and all of these terrible, terrible things. But but there are other companies that have better ethical stances that are in the pipeline, and it's just taking some time. Facebook had the jump on all of this. They saw, you got to give that to Zuckerberg, that he put on a CV1 and he was like, oh my God.
Totally.
Holy cow, or not even a CV1. He put on a dev kit one and was like, oh, this is it. This is it. I am changing everything in my company because this is it. So he knew, unfortunately, he's like, I'm going to extort the hell out of this, which that part's a bummer. Right. But, he did see the future.
So the Quest is on sale. Well, kind of.
Yes, it is.
It's not really on sale.
Kind of.
If you buy two of them, it's on sale.
Yes.
You can basically get two Quests for $50 less a piece. You save $100 if you buy two.
It is a good deal.
Sure.
Yes.
There's no denying the fact that is a good deal. And, I did tell people that it was a good deal. I made a video and I talked about it. And people tend to ask me, why I quote unquote shill for Facebook, you know? Well, first of all, I'm not shilling for anything because I'm not getting any money. And second of all, well, I talk so much shit on Facebook, I highly doubt they're ever going to want anything to do with me. But the thing is, to me, there's a difference in me buying this headset and promoting it because it's a very good headset. It is. That's what it is.
Cannot
It's
lie
a
about
very
that.
good
Yeah,
headset
it is. It's
at a
damn
very
good.
good price.
Yep.
And if you say otherwise, then you're lying to yourself.
Yep.
You know.
It's true.
But I hate the fact that Facebook is part of it.
Yep.
But this is all we got until there's competition. This is literally all we have.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
So I saw Navy make a post about this this sale, right? And he said, "Why is Facebook doing this?"
Right.
That was his question. He's like, "Why are they doing this sale?"
This is a really good question.
It is a good sale or a good question. And
It really is.
I thought about the answer to it, and I've noticed that in many times in my life, when something that I desired went on sale at the price that I wanted to buy it at,
a new one was about to come out.
A new one was about to come out like a month fucking later. And it was going to be at such a comparable price that it's going to borderline make me wish I waited.
Sure.
I think
Absolutely.
that's what's happening here.
There's one other thing too. I do want to say that when you go into VR, what do you want? You want to be like, dude, hop in here. We're going to do this shit together, because if there's one thing that makes any experience better, it's doing it with your friend.
Yeah.
So I feel like you are more apt to hop into a Quest and play some things and really spend more time in there if you have a friend that also has a Quest. So giving the deal of two of these things at a discounted price is also a really good plus for them, I believe.
Yes.
But yes, I do believe it's because, we do have a Quest Pro right around the corner.
Pro 2 is going to land.
So do you guys think that we are going to get an announcement or a release or something like that for the Quest Pro during Oculus Connect?
I do.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. There's been
I
way
see
too
we're all
much.
in agreement there, because
Yes.
I certainly think so as well. We've had so many quote-unquote leaks in the software. We've had so much, and now this sale, and I do agree with you. Usually when there's a sale, it means they're trying to almost get rid of the items. But would we also agree on the fact that if there is a Quest Pro, are they not going to be selling it next to the Quest 2?
Oh, of course.
They're not
I
going
think so.
to discontinue the Quest 2. So, what price would you be thinking for the Quest Pro?
That's a pretty good question.
That is a good question, man. Because according to the things that it has, I mean, these are going to be a little bit pricey components, but at the same time, these components are going to offer Facebook very
So much
critical, crucial data to what they want to know. So I think we will have a price increase of a little bit, but they're absolutely going to subsidize this, because that data will be more invaluable than anything else they've ever been able to collect, because of eye tracking and face tracking, being able to see reactions when you look at something, seeing how you feel about it. There's a lot of things that they're going to be able to really get out of this. So it's interesting. I feel like
What if they come out with two models, right? Just like they have now. Well, I guess technically there's really one model to get now. Just $100 for the extra gigs.
dude, I got 256 gigs and I'm always having to uninstall things.
Well, for me and you, but for the random person,
True.
128 is the way to go.
Yeah.
I would never tell anybody to get a 256. Pointless, unless you're making videos. Or something.
I got the 256 only because I knew I was going to be, constantly recording content and stuff like that on it. But now the 128 is definitely the sweet spot. I think 64 wasn't enough. I think 128 is the sweet spot.
Me too. Yeah. So what if they come out with the Quest Pro at the same they come out with the lower version Quest Pro at the same price as like the 256 Quest. So that way you get less storage, increased performance, and then the extra expensive one will have the storage and then that's where they get their price increase on the headset.
Yeah.
That's when they charge like $500 or whatever.
That could be a possibility. And I kind of see them doing that. But then it would almost be an obvious choice to go for the Pro model then, to be honest.
Which is what they want, because if that data is valuable, then they need to create a situation where it's like, no, this is definitely the one to get. Yeah. And if that's what they're planning on doing, then why not run a sale on the Quest that we've got, get these fuckers out there, and give all these people something to upgrade to when it comes out too.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting
That
to see
makes
that
sense.
price point because, if they could put it out for the price of the 256 gig model, that would be incredible. $499 for the Pro, that would be sick, right? I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, I feel like, man, it's so hard to say because eye tracking is expensive right now. And people are having a hard time getting it into headsets because Tobii wants like $200 for the module by itself, right? So it's interesting. They would have had to have what's happening here?
There was a super chat that we missed.
We missed the super chat.
I can see it there on a console.
Oh,
Traveling Man gave us a super chat. Do you see on the left there underneath our video?
Oh yeah. Oh, Traveling Man. Oh, that was 14 days ago.
14 days ago.
Yeah, that's what it says. 14 days ago.
Oh,
It says
shit.
right there.
Well, fuck you, Traveling Man. Just kidding, dude. We love you.
Oh my God. Well, thank you anyway, Traveling Man.
Yeah,
I really love you.
I didn't want to
Thank
miss
you.
a super chat. That would be so sad.
That's awesome. Good. Thanks for noticing that all the
noticing
way
something
across here and to our control panel on the other side of the ship's room over there. Thank you.
I'm here to notice
Yes.
inaccurate things. That's what I'm here for.
Well, it was accurate that there was one.
14 days
But
ago.
it was 2 weeks ago.
Fuck.
Yeah. So anyway, it will be interesting to see how they pull this off. Have they developed their own eye tracking where they're able to, or have they bought some technology? A while ago we heard about NVIDIA coming out with some like diode based cheap eye tracking that was extremely accurate, that didn't actually use cameras. It just used LEDs somehow to track your eyes. So it'll be interesting to see what Facebook has come up with here to make this possible, because we know they want that sweet data.
And I've read a lot of articles about how much data eye tracking can actually give you and how it's used in marketing nowadays. It's actually scary, to be honest with you.
Very scary.
Because the data they're getting now, if you thought this was scary, what they're gonna be getting next is they'll know everything about you.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything.
Yep.
Yeah, we talk about it often, and we try not to make this like a broken record podcast, because we have.
Even though I keep breaking that record,
Yes,
because
you
I
do.
really feel like if there's one new
Looks like
person,
I broke it now.
if there's one new person that pops into here, I never want anyone to say, well, you promoted this. Why hadn't you tell me the truth? I want to make sure that truth is out there, and then you make your own decision. Do you know what I mean? Like if you know, that's the biggest part of this, is to know, and then maybe you buy the stuff, but at the same time, we just did get another super chat here.
What's up, Paul?
So thank you so much. Woo, thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. We love you guys. Thank you for all the support you give us. But
The VR Realm. Check out the VR Realm on YouTube.
Yes.
He's one of the assholes. I mean, VR souls.
and the VR souls actually just hung up their hats.
Oh, did they?
They did the other day. Yeah, they did. But the VR Realm has some stuff in the works.
Well,
I was
for the
chatting with him
record-
yesterday.
Oh, that's good. And I've always loved that name, and it took me like weeks to figure out that actually is the play on words. Like the assholes is like what they meant that to sound like. It's
like
VR
VR
souls, like
Yeah.
arseholes,
Yeah.
especially because they're over there, and everybody over there on the other side of that
VR souls.
ocean
Yeah.
puts an R when they say arse for some reason.
This is true.
I always thought that was hilarious, and I love that group of dudes. I'm excited to see what they do next.
Absolutely. Me too, man. And I really, I just to reiterate what I was saying, if you don't agree with the data collection, you can still get the headsets, you can still enjoy this, but just speak up, right? Speak up and just let the companies know that you don't approve of this behavior, right? And then because then they're going to know that when competition comes along, that you're going to be moving over probably, right? And so, being vocal is such a power, and it's so powerful, and it's something that we still have at this time, which we might not later on, right? Because they're trying to take all our rights away. But at this time, we can still speak up and just let them know, and that's all you got to do.
All we
That's all you
gotta
got to
do
to
is
influence
speak up.
these companies.
We got to speak up, just like Matt Fontana, the homie, speaks up.
Heck
$5 with the super chat. Whatever, traveling man. Yeah, that's right. Whatever, traveling man. Rolling in here with the donation 14 days ago.
Oh man,
Today's today.
Oh, Alex.
Thanks, Matt Fontana.
Thank you.
He's the OG homie, dude.
Thank you, Matt. We do appreciate that a lot.
So-
and we do appreciate you, Traveling Man, and we appreciate every donation that we get.
Traveling Man's gonna be
Really
like a new villain on the show.
Right.
He's gonna like turn him into a villain, you know. He like treated him bad in the early days, and he like goes home and like stews and creates this new persona and comes out with all this intention
Oh,
of
dude.
dismantling what we're doing.
Oh man.
Traveling Man,
Oh, we're getting really close to the end here. We only have about like 7 minutes of it.
we're pretty close to the end, but what we're not close to the end of is the super chats. What's up, Texas Green Tea, with the $5 super chat? You guys rock. Appreciate your hard work
Thank
on
you
the
guys.
show. Thank you, dude.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, and it's been a lot of fun sitting here chatting with the Mysticle.
It has been. You know what's great
It's been
about
great
this
fun
show?
chatting with you too.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. You know what I really love about this show is all of these people that we have on here, at least the content creators. I am watching their shows, right? And usually I'm like talking to the screen as it's happening. I'm like, well, you know what I think? But now they reply. So anyway, we appreciate you coming on, man. It's been super, super fun.
So
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
of course. You know, maybe you can give us kind of just like some overarching closing thoughts, right? Like VR, you know, like is there anything that's really important that has been left unsaid on this episode, or you know, what's your overall take on the industry? Where's it going? Give us something like good to wrap this up.
Good and juicy.
I mean, to be honest, I think if I were to give you an overall take, we could talk infinitely on this. I did make a video that I can just kind of throw into a few minutes there now. To me personally, the most important part of VR is the social aspect, right? The fact that you don't need to be together. You can be completely apart, especially now during the last 2 years. You can be on two separate, completely different parts of the world, and you can hang out, you can meet up, whether it's in Neos, whether it's in VR chat. It's an amazing feeling. Whether you have family in a different country, it really brings you together. People used to call social networks antisocial networks. I feel like VR is an actual social network. You feel the presence of the person there, you know? You want to give them a high five, you can actually do it. VR is I'm going to put it how literally Zuck put it, the evolution of the internet, because I feel like that is the correct way of putting it. Instead of, you know, in the future, instead of hanging out on Discord, we'll be hanging out in VR, and we'll maybe even have 3D scans or avatars that people can create on their own. Instead of typing, we'll actually put on the headset and meet up. We'll move on from these 2D experiences on a flat screen to 3D experiences that we can maybe even feel with, you know, better haptics, and actually speak to the person, see them again, high five them, whatever. It's moving in that direction, and it's going to be amazing. Now the question is, which direction is it moving in? Is it moving in the kind of Ready Player One direction where Facebook is going to lead it all, and it's just going to end in like a weird way? Or like, what direction is it heading in? It's definitely heading in a direction where everything is getting miniaturized, and I think that the future will definitely be standalone. It's definitely going to be wireless in the future. I don't know how far in the future, but I certainly think it's going to be wireless. We are going to move away from the wires, and we are eventually going to reach that point where we are either connected to the cloud and using the cloud for all our computing, or have everything in nanotechnology where the headset can quite literally be as powerful as a computer. And I do think we are going to reach that stage where maybe even AR mixes with AR, and you can have the same glasses for both AR and VR, you know? One product for both things. I do think we are heading towards the miniaturization of it all, and it's going to be wireless, and it's going to be amazing.
It's gonna be fun.
Certainly.
And you're gonna be there, and we're gonna be there, and everyone who's in chat's gonna be there, and it's gonna be a fucking huge party, and I cannot wait for it.
Beautifully said,
Absolutely.
dude. Beautifully said.
So
I agree with everything you said there.
Absolutely, yeah. Eloquent. You're a well-spoken gentleman, if we may say so. So what's next? What's next for the channel?
Well, I did I did a really deep talk about this on the Discord yesterday, where, you know, the channel is currently mostly based on VR news. And a lot of people, they count that as like, you know, clickbait, easy content, etc. And I don't know if you noticed, my thumbnails, they all kind of look the same. And I really focused on this yesterday, where I am just a single guy. I have no team behind me. I am on my own, and I'm uploading videos daily. The thumbnails, they've really all kind of merged. They all look kind of the same, and that's kind of boring, and I don't like that. I explained to people yesterday that I want the channel to have larger projects, but the problem with that is the YouTube algorithm, which nobody really knows how it works.
I could spend
a month or two working on a project and be incredibly happy with it and think it came out amazing, and then other people tell me it came out amazing, but the views on it just disappear, you know? That's just the YouTube algorithm. But the next for the channel is definitely start branching out a little bit, you know? Getting the VR news out, because I feel like a lot of people really like those, and I like making them, but also recording these almost vlog-like experiments where we maybe even visit different countries, you know, visit companies and stuff like that. It's definitely, I do want to branch out, and the first thing that we're going to start with is the thumbnails. The thumbnails changed yesterday, and that needs to continue.
Nice. Well, I'll tell you this, you know, a lot of people do VR news, right? And you might say, oh, it's easy, it's low-hanging fruit, or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
But the thing that I think, and I'm going to speak for Skiva here, what we think separates you from maybe some of the other VR news out there is the perspective. You know, you're able to provide a intelligent, like well thought out, fresh perspective, delivered eloquently, you know, and like it's good. Like I want to know what you have to say about it, because I have a feeling you're not going to be blowing smoke up my ass. It's going to be well thought out and maybe a fresh take, you know. So I would say that that's a great place for you. You know, I wouldn't worry too much about it being low hanging fruit, because if you inject enough of yourself into it, then you're not going to be able to replicate it. You know what I'm saying?
I do my very best, you know. I do my very best to inject myself into it, to give my own perspective. Again, people actually think quite a few of the videos are sponsored. I have not done a single sponsored video. Well, I did in the past when I did tech content, but during VR, I have not done a single sponsored video on the channel. And like, I'm not saying sponsored videos are bad. They're not, you know. It's we all need to make money, and it's bad when it kind of sways your opinion. I feel like that's when it's bad. You always need to be able to give your opinion. If something is shit, you say it's shit. Like, the fact that this thing has one button, I mean, come on, what the fuck? Like, that kind of thing, you know?
Right. Well, and
then people tell me I'm too positive. I like being positive, but I will tell you if something is shit.
Yeah. Positivity is great, man. Absolutely. It drives your energy forward through everything in life. And staying positive is a very, very positive thing.
Well, and I'm excited to see you. I'm excited to see you branch out, dude. You know, the most recent video you put up has you like on the beat, on the street, like out there making shit happen. You know, hitting up VR arcades and stuff. Everybody.
Yeah, we did some dumb stuff there.
There's a link to the Mysticle's channel in the description below. If you haven't seen his new video where he's running around with his friends in VR arcades, go watch it. It's a great video, and of course he gives great perspective. The Mysticle, dude. Thank you so much for joining us today on Between Realities.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's been a really good time, dude. Everybody, please say goodbye to the Mysticle. We're going to eject him from the ship now. See you later, dude.
Adios, dude.
And he's gone.
Thanks for having me.
And just like that, he's gone. And, you know, whatever. We're not going to see him for a real long time.
It'll be a minute. It'll be a minute. But man, what a great guest. That was so awesome. It's so great just talking about the things you're passionate about with people who get it and that have all of that knowledge. You know what I mean? It's and such a positive dude. I think he's going to go far.
Me too. And I honestly love having an opportunity to like get to know the people better.
Yes.
Like sometimes we have like, you know, developers on and we like talk about their games like extensively, but like we don't really get to know them as well as we'd like to. And I really like to get to know people. So thanks again, dude, for joining us and being real. And of course, thank you to everyone here who has joined us in chat. Hussein X, Chris Richardson, Virtual Steve, VR Bug snuck in here near the end. Oh, Jeff Kritschmar. What's up, Kritschmar? He's an epic artist, dude. Check out Kritschmar.com. Who else we got up in here? Sampler 19, Chris Richardson, who I already said. Jansen Fox slid in here. Sampler 19, who I just said again. Immersive Robot, and all of you. You guys are fucking amazing. Thank you so much.
For real. We really do. Love you guys.
what's next week? What are we doing?
Next week, we will have the fantastic Kaz and Sherry on.
Yo!
Yes, and it will be a premiere next week because of time zones and issues with trying to get people from, very far away on the show. Sometimes we're going to just have to do some pre-recorded episodes, but it's going to be a good one. So please join us, and we will be very active in the chat as well, chatting with you guys and watching the show with you guys. So please come on over and check it out. Please make sure you hit that bell button because getting, even though YouTube says they're going to notify you, a lot of times they don't. But, if you get that notification one every couple shows, that would be great, so you can hop in here and be part of the conversation with us. So
yep, it's great. I'm so stoked to talk to these lovely ladies who are amazing ambassadors for VR. If you guys have any questions that you think we should bring up while we're chatting with them, please join our Discord server. There's a link below. Drop in there, tell us, hey, you should ask Kaz and Sherry about this thing, and then maybe we will.
Yeah, maybe we will.
Maybe we won't.
Maybe
because we do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys later next Friday on our pre-recorded episode. Same Between Realities time, same Between Realities place. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.